Today's video from Sam4S Help, we're taking a look at report functionality on the NR-510R register. So the machine has one printer. As default, this is set to issue customer receipts with every transaction. You can set it to journal mode so that it keeps an audit roll of everything that happens on the till. But there's two problems with that. A, you cannot issue customer receipts. So in receipt mode, when we process a transaction, we get a nice receipt printout, and we can also print copy receipts on request. The other thing, you can't do that basically if you're in the journal mode. And then also when you do your end of day reports in the journal mode, you then have to remove the report from the spool at the back of the machine. So standard practice would be to use this machine in receipt mode. There is an electronic journal option, but I'll cover that in a separate video because it's like a requested option, and again not too popular. What we're looking at today is X and Z reports. So the big thing that trips people up with cash registers is the difference between X and Z. X is read only, whereas Z is read and reset. So whether you've got a Sam4S cash register or any other type of cash register, regardless of whether it's the 510R, if you're doing X reports, they're also called flash reports, and they're really to see how you're doing over a limited period of time. They're not for end of day reconciliation. One of the problems that happens is if you run an X report by mistake, which is possible and quite common actually, you can use that information to cash the till up, but the data will roll over. When you run a Z report, the data is wiped or zeroed and moved over into a different file depending on which machine you have, so that the next day's data starts effectively from zero. It's complicated slightly by things like grand totals, but I'll show you a couple of reports and hopefully that'll clear things up for you. So if we look at the first level of reporting on this register, the 510R, you have the X mode, also called manager mode, and if you press the cash button, amongst the options you've got flash report. So if we scroll down to line 3, you can run or have a look at the flash report, and basically this is a summary of what's gone on so far on the till today. So this is the money that's in the drawer. So we've got gross sales of 508.80, net sales of 473.30, cash in drawer total, and then a charge in drawer total. So cash in drawer is obviously self-explanatory. Charge in drawer is normally your credit card sales. So this information is relevant because it's all the information since the last time we ran a Z report, an end of day Z financial report. So this is basically a way of checking what money should be in the till so far today. Press clear, we can get rid of it. So the next level of reporting we can do also in X is to go into the X reports. So these, when we look at Z reports, we'll have a very similar list of information, similar list of reports we can run, but these reports won't reset any data. So if we run the financial report, X1, it'll print out a X report. So this is a financial summary of what's gone on the till since the last time the Z1 report was run. So in theory, if you're running your Z1 at the end of every day, this is a summary of what's gone on the till so far today. So it's a financial only report, so it's basically it's values rather than descriptions. So it's the sales by PLU, and then it splits the sales down into tax. It shows any discounts given, any returns, any voids. So the financial report is useful for cashing up your drawer. If we have a look at some of the other reports we can do, we've got a time report. PLU report is interesting. Basically on this machine, you've got 12 PLU buttons, and then you can have additional PLU buttons by using, or PLUs, by using the PLU number keys. PLU is stands for price or product lookup. You may use it in a couple of different ways on this machine. You can either use it as a preset items or grouping of products. So basically it's the sales information by button. So we can see in our sales PLU button we've sold 44.5 items and a total value of that much, and that's repeated for each PLU that we've sold today. Clear again to get out of that. We've got reports by clerk or by group, as well. There's quite an extensive list of reporting, but obviously not all the reports will be available because it depends on what, or relevant, sorry, it depends on what programming you've got set up on the machine. So they're all the X reports you can do on the machine. Just remember that the X report is giving you information, so it's not resetting it. The end of day reporting is your Z mode. So when you turn the key round to Z and go into Z reports, these are the end of day reports. So if I run this Z1 financial report, it's going to give me exactly the same information as the X report did, but it's going to reset the data. So I can prove the point by running the second one. So the first one was the same as the X. It's got all the sales for the day, but the difference is that when it ran, it reset all the data apart from the grand total. So when I ran the next Z report, so Z report counter 3 as opposed to counter 2, the data was wiped. So we're back to 0 apart from my grand total at the start of the day. And the periodic reporting, so that is Z2X2. What happens when you run a Z report, whichever type of Z report it is, whether it's your daily financial, whether it's PLU, whether it's group, the data is reset as I've just demonstrated, but then all the information is then pushed over into the Z2 or periodic file. This is useful. You don't have to use it, but what it means is you can trick the till into giving you either weekly, monthly or quarterly reports. Because although a lot of the cash registers will say a daily report, really the till doesn't know what day it is, it just knows that it's a period of time. So when you do a Z1 at the end of every day, you are forcing the till to give you a daily report. When it does this and pushes all the information into the Z2 file, that information is consolidating exactly as your Z1 would if you didn't report. So you can use this to your advantage, providing you can get into a routine. So if you run a Z1 report at the end of every day, you could then run a periodic Z2 at the end of a week or a month. But the key is you've got to understand that the till doesn't know that it's a weekly report or a monthly report. It's only by you doing it on the right day you are generating your monthly report. So this periodic Z2 report is a consolidation of all the Z1s I've previously run on the register. So that's how you could get a weekly, monthly or quarterly report out of a NR510R. So it's quite impressive for a fairly basic machine. Providing you get in a routine, you can have the periodic reporting function. So if we press the clear button there and go back to the main menu, I'll also show you the time report that you can get in the Z mode. Tear that off. I quite like the time report because it gives you, it basically splits your sales down by hour. So one thing to understand with all the reports is that they don't affect each other. So when you run a financial report, that resets, pushes the data over into the next file, but your PLU reporting and your hourly reporting and your clerk reporting are totally unaffected. So a time report, you don't have to run it every day. You could possibly run it once a week or once a month, and it gives you an indication. I mean, it might be giving you information you already know. You might be well aware of when you're busiest, but it could be that the information is useful. It's splitting your sales down by hour, so number of sales and total value of sales for the hour of the day. So that's quite a nice report to get on a machine of this level. We looked at the PLU reporting, so again we looked at it in the X mode. In the Z mode you get the same data, but it just resets it and then pushes it over into that Z2 file. So when you go into it, you can do a daily or you can then do a periodic. You've got clerk reporting on there, so if you've got operators set up on this level of machine, you might not use clerks, you might just be set up as one person logged in. But if you're not, if you're using different operators, then again, you can run a X and Z report, and just like the hourly report, it basically splits the sales down by operator. So it's the total number of sales and the value of sales by operator. Okay. We then got a group report. So when you program your PLUs, you can assign them to belong to different groups. And again, the group, you can do an X group report. I can't really see the point of why you do that, but you can do a Z1 report. And although it says daily, again, it's probably not the type of report you run every day. It kind of depends. So if you're a pub, probably a bad example, but you might have your sales split wet and dry, and you might want to do a group report once a month maybe. And again, if you did the Z1 daily once a month in the group, it would then push that data over into the periodic reporting. Okay, it's always clear to get back to the main screen. So yeah, I just wanted to give a summary really of the different reports that are available. I'll do separate videos on the electronic journal because, as I said, that's not a standard feature of the machine, although it is available. Whichever report you're running, once you've run the report, it's important to turn the key back round to either the reg mode or to off, so you're ready to start trading at the end of the day. Okay, I hope that video's been helpful. We'll have a playlist of all the reports you can do on the 500 series, so quick instructions of how to do the reports rather than a long explainer, so you're welcome to check those out. You can also subscribe to this YouTube channel or visit sam4shelp.co.uk for more. Thanks for watching.